All right, Mr. Chris, should we maybe move that guy over a little bit over there, or we think we're looking good over here, Chris? So before we get started here, hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm gonna give you guys a not a disclaimer, but more of some information. We run a podcast here. We also run of a media outlet. We give people the opportunity to make their cases, to speak their mind, and tell their truths. Today, sometime in the podcast, we're going to be speaking about some very sensitive issues that have happened within the last 2 years or so.
Yes.
Within the last 2 years, allegations, pretty foul allegations, and we are just here to get the truth. We will ask the tough questions. We don't have a dog in this fight. We're trying to be as unbiased as possible so people can see what truly transpired. And stay tuned. We'll be on in the next 2 minutes. All right, Chris. Let's do this. All right, Chris, give me that intro beat. Pick it up, Chris. Pick it up, man. Let me hear that thing, baby. Let me hear that thing. There you go. All right, guys. You guys know what it is. It's the one and the only. It's the American Cholo Podcast. I want to thank all you guys for tuning in here today on this Saturday afternoon, soon to be evening. And today I have a special guest. Today I do have a special guest. Usually I don't say that, Tony, because everybody's usually the special guest, right? So today I do have a special guest. It is the one, it's the only, he is the host of Rhodium Radio, Tony A. the Wizard. What's going on, Tony?
How you doing, brother, man? First and foremost, I want to thank you for having
Chris,
me
over there,
on
buddy.
tonight.
Hold on, Chris. Chris, take it off of that. Yeah, it's gonna be on one. Hold on. I don't got nothing, Tony. Hold on. Buddy. Oh, Chris, get with the program. Happens when you don't have the time, Chris. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Like magic, right? There you go. What are you gonna do with it? Take two. So again, Tony, thank you for coming on. So what's going on, buddy?
Oh, man, you know what? First and foremost, I just want to repeat myself that I'm blessed to be here. Thank you for allowing me to be here. It always feels kind of weird when I get interviewed because I'm always usually doing the interviewing. So if I tend to talk a lot, it's okay for you to interject, okay?
Oh no, man. You should know better than anybody else that having a guest that talks a lot is a beautiful thing.
Yes, sir.
The last thing you want or need as a podcaster is dead air.
Exactly. And believe me, I always try to coach my guests before, try to elaborate, try to talk as much as you want, because ultimately they want to hear more from you than from me.
Yeah, but what happens sometimes, if they don't talk, you're going to take over the conversation.
That's just the way it goes.
And it happens all the time. So, yeah, again, thank you so much for coming out here. We will get to the issues at hand in a bit. But before that, let's just get this started, man. Where were you born and raised at, Tony?
Well, let me back up just a little bit. Both my parents, my mother and my father, were born in Torreon, Coahuila, Mexico.
Okay.
And when they came here to the U.S., they moved to the city of Compton. So I'm kid number 7.
Oh, wow. Big family.
Yes, 10 children. And I lived there till I was about 9. And then from 9, we moved to the city of Wilmington. And that's at 54 years old, that's where I still live.
Oh, wow. So you're pretty much you're a Wilma's guy, huh, boy?
I'm a straight weed metal, homie.
Now, how was it? Now, were you in a gang anytime, Tony, or was it more your brothers and stuff?
You know what? Let me say this. When I was a child, I spoke like a child and I acted like a child. When I became a man, I put away childish things, okay? I said that to say this, that when I was a teenager, yes, I was involved in a neighborhood. We were called IMG, Insane Mexican Gang.
Okay.
And there was quite a few of us. And I don't say that proudly. I say that actually shamefully because I did have some of my friends that went to jail for murder.
Wow.
You know, so when I got my record deal in 1991, that's when I pretty much said, you know what, do I still want to be on the streets or do I want to live a full life?
Right.
So I decided to go on the road and DJ and produce, and I'm still here today.
Now, and Chris, can you take those comments off? Those things are driving me crazy. So there you go. So how did you know that you had a talent for music, Tony? Was it at a young age? I mean, what was the music scene in your house? Let's say on a Sunday morning.
You know, as weird as this may sound, I still remember the very first song I've ever heard. My father used to play 45s when we lived in Compton, and I still remember the song "Monster Mash" as a little
The
boy.
Monster Mash.
Yes, as a little boy. Then I want to say 11 years old. That's when I started to learn how to pop. And the guy who actually taught me is from my neighborhood. His name is Michael Chambers. In our neighborhood, they called him Boogaloo Shrimp. In the movies, they called him Turbo from Breaking.
Oh, okay, I remember Turbo.
Yeah, he taught me how to pop. I really wasn't that damn good, so I got a job through a Japanese vendor by the name of Steve Yano from the city of Whittier. He gave me my first job selling vinyls with him at the Vermont swap meet. So that's pretty much where my music started. Then I want to say I saw my brother DJ the same year. I want to say I was just about to turn 12. I graduated to 6th grade, and he told me, because I was doing bad in school, if you graduate to 6th grade, I'll take you to the club with me. So the day that I graduated, I had my 3-piece suit from Kmart. My mom finally combed my hair to the side because she used to part it in the middle. And he took me to the club. And I think from there, I knew what I wanted to be at 11 years old.
And was it a DJ or what was it?
Yes. I definitely wanted to DJ.
So that gave you motivation to start doing better in school, or were you still the same cagapalo?
I was still the same cagapalo, bro. I mean, you know what? And again, you know, Gil, I say this shamefully because not having my mother here anymore, if there's anything that I ever wanted to do to make my mother proud was finish school. And I can't say I did that.
Oh,
I flunked 7th grade, I flunked 8th grade, and flunked 10th grade. And before you know it, I just dropped out,
right.
you know. Now, but I do want to say something because a lot of people would say, "Este era burro," you know, he was an idiot. What it was, I never applied myself.
Right.
I just never cared. All I thought about at the time was music. So I just never applied myself to school.
Yeah, but there's certain people that are just not, let's say, school savvy, you know, and especially in today's day and age, that's almost a thing that's ahead of time. Nowadays, you really don't have to have that degree. And I mean, I think you're a successful guy.
Yes, you know what? I'd like to think so, but I get very emotional when I speak about my mother, okay? Because when my mother passed, you know, a lot of my family members, like brothers and sisters, would always tell me that I was like my mom's favorite, if there's such a thing. Okay?
Oh, there is.
Okay. And to know that, and to know that I couldn't give her what she wanted was for me to be good in school. If anything, I'd wanted to make her proud more in that than in my music. And I don't feel that I did that. And I live with that now. So.
No, I can guarantee you, Tony, that any mother, being the guy that you are, the stuff that you got going on, that she's got to be proud wherever she's at, you know, wherever in heaven she is. At what age? I mean, how old were you when she actually passed?
It was about, I want to say 11 years ago.
Oh, so she saw you. She saw you going out there. She saw
Right.
you doing music. No, you were. I'm sure your heifer was extremely proud of you. Yeah, I think they want you to, like, you know, graduate, because everybody wants their kids to graduate, because they figure if you graduate, you're gonna have a better life, and they want you to have an easier life than they did, right?
Right.
And I'm sure your life is easier than how she grew up, and your children, and so on and so forth. That's kind of the American dream. So
Right.
I'm sure wherever mom's is, Tony, she's very proud of you, because man, you're doing your thing, my man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, so, you know, but that's where the music started for me. I started DJing, I want to say around 14, 15 years old. And I always have to give this man his props because I don't believe enough people give it to him. And this is the guy who became my mentor in DJing at a young age was a guy named DJ Joe Cooley. Everybody knows him from Rod Neal and
yes.
Joe Cooley.
Of course.
You know, as you hear my story, you will see that I've always been blessed in my career because I always feel that I was always surrounded by the best. For an example, when it came time for popping, it was Turbo. When it came time for DJing, it was Joe Cooley. When it came time to production, it was Dr. Dre and DJ Quick.
Wow, those are huge names in the industry, and you were blessed to work with these guys at a young age.
Yes.
And now, was there ever any, not friction is the word, but was there ever any even like a discussion as far as, oh, you're the Mexican in the room and they're the brothers?
No, it's crazy because I get asked that a lot, and I always give the same answer. They never treated me as if I was a non-black. They never treated me that way. It was almost like I was one of them.
Right.
And I loved and I respected that, So, but let me throw this out there because a lot of people may not know this about me. My father, growing up, was a very prejudiced man, very prejudiced Mexican man. He hated blacks, he hated Japanese, Chinese, whites, everybody.
He hated equally.
He hated everybody equally. And the way things worked out, and I believe that God did this for a reason. I had brothers that had married black, Vietnamese, Filipinos. We got white in the family. It's almost everything that he hated, God put in our family, and I'm thankful for that.
All the grandkids came out with
Yes.
with different skin tones.
Yes, exactly.
Did your dad start moving away from his thoughts as he got older?
Yes, it's funny because one day he was holding my nephew, and he's black,
Right.
and he was loving him and he was kissing him, and I asked him, I said, "Do you still feel the same way about black people?" And he shamefully said, "No, I can't say that." But later on in life, he opened up why he felt that way.
Right.
And it was always something done to him
Of course.
by certain individuals. But I've learned that you cannot, like if a black man did me wrong, I cannot say all black people are like that.
Correct.
And I think he did.
Yeah, especially in the probably the era that he grew up in. In that era, there was a lot of still is not as much, but there was a lot of discrimination against brown men. Especially you're first coming into the country, so I could see what it is. But as men, we learn and we grow, right?
Right, exactly. Yes.
So, how did you start going from? No, I want you to talk to me a little bit about the swap meet and how you came up with the name of your show and all that stuff. How it's all related.
Okay. Keep in mind, I talk a lot, so whenever you
Oh,
want to...
no, you keep going, buddy. You're making
Okay.
my job easy today.
Okay. Well, I'm a swamp meat baby. My mom started selling at the swamp meet, I want to say, when I was around the time 11 years old when I got my first job. This was at the Vermont swamp meet in the city of Gardena. It's no longer there, but... So we would sell maybe Saturday and Sunday, and during the week, she would sell at the Paramount swap meet. Well, what ended up happening was I worked for this Japanese vendor for, I want to say about 3 years, maybe till 11 to 13 years old. He ended up going to the Rodeon swap meet, which is in the same city as the Vermont swap meet. I couldn't go because I'm just 11, 12 years old, so I had to stay. 1987 comes around, I'm probably late 18, maybe early 19. I hear a mixtape that Dr. Dre is rapping on it, and he says, "This is Dr. Dre here at the Rodeum with Steve Yano." Now keep in mind, this is Dr. Dre before NWA. To me, he is Dr. Dre of the world-class wrecking crew.
Yes.
Okay. So I told my buddy, because he's the only guy that had a car, my boy Angel, I just said, "Hey man, give me a ride. I haven't seen Steve in about 6 years. This is this Japanese man. Maybe he might remember me. Who knows?" By this time, I'm already DJing. I'm already DJing weddings, quinceañeras. I've even DJed divorce parties, So I've been a lot of backyard stuff, a lot of hall parties. And I was actually pretty damn good on the turntable. I was really, really quick. So I show up to the Rodeon swap meet, and he sees me. He recognizes me right away. He goes, "Tony, how you doing?" Now, right in back of him is the guy that I looked up to, Dr. Dre. He just happened to be there that day.
Wow.
And beside him, later on, I find out there's a guy named Sir Jinx, which is his cousin. I always tell people, if you've seen the movie Straight Outta Compton, when Dre left his mom's house to go live with his cousin, that's when I met him. Okay. So, and then I get introduced to another guy named Eric, which I didn't know was Eazy-E. So I met these three guys. By the way, Dre's cousin is a guy named Sir Jinx, whom we're still good friends. He's the guy that produced probably the best diss song ever. He did No Vaseline for Ice Cube. Okay. Did a lot of stuff for Ice Cube. So Steve tells me, "What are you doing now?" And I said, "I'm DJing it." And he kind of looked at me like he didn't believe me. So he said, "You want to get off?" And he had turntables at Swamp Meet, the mixer. So I said, okay. I did my thing. Dr. Dre tapped me on the shoulder and he says, "Hey, man," he says, "My cousin, Jinx here, he's about 16 years old. He's doing a record for a guy named Calvin Anderson. He's the owner of VIP Records in Long Beach, where Snoop filmed his first video." Right. and danced on top. He said, he's doing a record for that guy and he needs some scratching. Do you want to do it? And I just said, sure. So I started going to Jinx's house in South Central. I would see Dre there all the time. I see Cube there every once in a while. So I did the scratching in 1987. The record came out in 1988. And I like to say, before Snoop and Warren G and those guys, I had VIP history before those guys.
For sure.
You know, so yeah.
You were there at the beginning. Now, when you were dealing with these individuals, did you even see like how talented they were?
You know, a lot of them were teenagers because everybody always asks me, how was it working with them? I didn't know who they were going to become.
Right.
You know, I didn't. One thing I will say this about Dre, and I like to say this respectfully, I didn't know that Dre was broke. But to me, who loved somebody who was a fan of his and loved his talent, it didn't matter if he had money or if he didn't. I just admire him for the stuff that he had already done.
Right.
But one thing I will say that he was always working, when I say working on the drum machine, or he was always recording mixtapes, or he was always on the phone. He was always like very productive with his time, you know, and he would teach me a lot of things. Like for an example, he's the guy that told me about Too Short. He played a song for me. He played a song, Freaky Tales. And he said, I want you to listen to this. He said, this guy's dope. This guy's going to blow up. He's out of the Bay Area. And I said, for reals? Like, I really wasn't feeling it.
Right.
And he said, listen, it's not what he's saying, it's how he's saying it. Mm-hmm. He goes, listen to his voice. And later on, I found out that's what he saw in Easy. You know, Easy was not a rapper. And when I say I'm not a rapper, let me explain. He would say to me, I'm not a rapper. And in his songs, he would say, Ice Cube writes the rhymes that I say.
Right.
But I also want to defend him because when he would come to my house and rap on my mixtapes, I would see him writing his lyrics and then grabbing the mic and rapping them. So I wonder, why would he consider himself not a rapper? Maybe he didn't consider himself a natural?
Yeah, I mean, compared to, you know, well, look who he's next to. I mean,
correct. Yeah.
So look at if it's a band, he's in a super band, and he's the least talented rapper out of those guys. But I think it's like with Too Short, it's a swag.
Yeah.
He had swag back then before them, and Too Short, the same exact thing. I mean, the first time I heard Freaky Tales, I'm like, dude, this is bumping, and the bass he's got in there, the whole thing, right? So you saw Dr. Dre when he was not a gangster, quote unquote, right?
Correct.
So how did you take it to see him, you know, the World Class Wrecking Crew, and then maybe fast forward 3 or 4 years, and now this guy's killing everybody, and he's got the Dickie suit on, he's gangstered out. Did anybody back then ever say anything about it, or was it just like it's just part of the show?
It was just part of the show. Let me give you an example. They had 3 songs that they gave to this guy, Steve. Steve Yano was like the radio station of Gardena in a sense. Say that Dr. Dre would give him a tape and say, play this. He would play it, and he would get the reaction from the people. He had 3 songs, Fat Girl on My Jock, a song called LA is the Place, and Boys in the Hood. He would play Fat Girl on My Jock, no reaction to the Swamp Meet people walking back and forth.
They wouldn't stop.
Fat Girl on My Jock, LA's the Place, no reaction. As soon as he played Boys in the Hood, he knew now what direction to go in. So nobody ever saw them back then as fake gangsters because none of those guys were claiming like Crip. They were just claiming their city.
Okay.
You know, so I never really saw them, and they never called themselves gangster rap. I would ask them like, man, this is like some street shit. And they were like, it's reality rap.
Reality rap.
You know, and I kind of saw the way Melly Mel would do those songs like on The Message and on Survival. They never called themselves gangsters, but that was some street shit.
Yeah,
you know?
Sure.
So that's how I saw them.
So the Swap Meet almost was like a focus group for these guys.
Absolutely.
To sit there and see what's going on. And I kind of want to speak a little bit about, because that reminds me of the conversation we had here with the homie Means, even though he's very straightforward, with Kid Frost.
Uh-huh.
Because Kid Frost is kind of the same thing as those gentlemen. I mean, he wasn't a gangster. He had that. But in our community, it seems that you have to be a gangster to do gangster rap. Why is that, you think?
I'm still trying to figure that one out. I'm just being honest with you. I shared this story quite a few times that when La Raza came out, me and some of my homies are going to East LA to go cruise, okay? So one of them had the cassette single, and everybody's jamming to it. Then they stop it and they ask me, instead of saying that song is fucking dope, or now we're on the airwaves, or now Raza's in a sense. I wonder where that fool's from. That was the number one question. And that's when I said, we're in trouble. We're in trouble because we're more concerned about that.
Yes.
Than anything else. And I think that it was unfair that Tony G produced a classic. Nobody else could have delivered that song like the way Kid Frost did. Powerful statement.
Agreed.
Okay, when he released that song. And it was just called La Raza, and it opened up doors for us. But we as a people, where's that fool from? And I just didn't understand that. To me, I don't give a shit. The song is banging. I'd bump it. I'd play it when I DJ. I did a lot of shows with the guy. And, you know, I almost felt like that was just an LA thing, because whenever we went like to Texas or Arizona or whatever, it was none of that. At least not that I've ever seen.
And it may be an LA thing, you know that? Because, I mean, right now, you got guys like Capone. He's doing tours, man. And he may not sell out as big in LA in his hometown, but if you go down to New Mexico, you go down to Texas, you go down even Utah, you go to Arizona, they're selling out over there. And I don't think anybody's really asking, is it about to really kill anybody?
I don't think there's, at least MC Hammer said it best. He goes, I don't think there's any murderers out there rapping. And during that time is when he dropped You Can't Touch This.
Right.
You know, I don't think anybody, maybe now you got people snitching on each other.
Yes.
I just recently heard that, whether it's true or not, that there's a rapper named Young Thug. I don't really know his music too much, but somehow he was involved in a murder, and in a lot of his songs, he mentioned it. And now they're using not only his posts from social media, but also his lyrics against him.
Yes.
You know, I'm just thankful we didn't have social media back then.
Oh, yeah. We only had the party line, but
that was it, yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of rappers do that. Bobby Shmurda, same thing. He talked about the how that he did, and that's why he got busted. And everybody today talks about it. It seems like everybody, instead of banging on the streets, they want to bang on social media and show everybody they're gangster on social media.
Yeah, let's take it to Instagram. I'll expose you. That's the new banging today.
Right.
You know.
So there's people, Tony, that say that you are a kind of like the artist of back in the day, like Snoop Dogg, let's say. And this is coming from comments that I get, right, to ask you. They say that you would only work with black artists back in the 90s, right? And that now you trying to, you know, come out, support Raza on this, like how Snoop Dogg now all of a sudden, all these older guys are coming out. Even like, let's say Frost. Frost is now coming back. What do you say to people like that?
Well, first, I'm glad that I'm here and I get a chance to address these questions.
Of course.
I want to say, before I ever met High C, and with respect to my friends from the original Spanish Fly, Ese Daz,
yes, sir,
DJ Tricks, and Ese Rich Rock. What a lot of people don't know, that I was working with Ese Rich Rock when he was in junior high school. I wanted to work with a Chicano, but he ended up getting into the group, or he was already a part of the group, but we had demos. I was supposed to put him on mixtapes at the Swamp Meet before I ever even met High C. And we're talking about 80s. Now, in the 80s, I only knew of one Chicano rapper in the 80s, other than Ese Rich Rock, who had nothing out yet. Kid Frost had a song called Rough Cuts, and a song called Terminator. Then in 1990, he dropped La Raza, okay? Then Mellow Mayonnaise came out with Mentirosa same year. After that, I heard of Lighter Shade of Brown. Then Spanish Fly comes out, so 18 with the Bullet.
Right.
1994, Mexican Power.
Proper Dose?
Proper Dose, my homies. Up to that point, from 88 to 94, there wasn't too many Chicanos that for me to choose to work with. Okay. Now, here's how I got my record deal, for people to say, why are you only working with blacks? Let me explain that. I'm only doing mixtapes to sell at the Swamp Meet. I make them, I give the master to Steve Yano, and he duplicates them, he sells them, okay? We did an original song, Goofing Off. At home, I had two I'm Your Puppets. High C's coming over, he's rapping, and the only reason why we got High C there was because NWA was now on tour in 1988. So now they're touring. I have nobody to rap on my mixtapes. So like I said previous, I was going to get Ese Rich Rock But when he got with his group, I decided not to use them. We're talking about 80s. So I told High C, come on, man, rap on my mixtapes. We did I'm Not Your Puppet. And I didn't know how good that was selling until one day I went and I started hanging around. And within maybe like 30 minutes, he must have sold about 20 of those tapes. So about a month later, Steve tells me, let's do a follow-up. And I said, well, I don't know. Like, I'm not a producer. I'm just a DJ guy.
Right.
So he comes over and he said, what records did you use? And I said, well, I have this Aslan Oldies compilation because I have doubles of everything. So he said, I don't know, play something and see what he likes. So I flipped it over and Billy Stewart Sitting in the Park was on. So he right away, so what shall I do? So I said, fuck it, let's do it. With those 2 mixtapes, now keep in mind, I would probably already had about 25 mixtapes without High C. With those mixtapes, I'm hanging out at the swap meet. Here comes a guy looking, hey, tell Steve, who did this mixtape? And he thought it was somebody there bust us for selling bootlegs. And believe it or not, Steve kind of ratted me out. He said, he did him. Okay? So I said, yeah, but he sells them. So he says, well, look, who right here it says High C. Who is this guy? He says, I work for Disney and I want to sign him. They came looking for us. That's why I always say, honestly, if you release good music, money will come knocking. We weren't looking for no deal.
That's an amazing story.
So I said, I'll walk you to the back of the swap meet and I'll jump ahead. We ended up getting signed to 7 years, but for one album, we got paid $140,000. And so when I started touring with them, all the talk, he's only working with blacks.
Okay.
That's how that started.
But at that point, hey, you got your deal. What are you going to do? Tell them, no, I'm not coming if I don't bring a Chicano? Like, no, it's especially, even in today's industry, if somebody gets you and they say, hey, we want to hire you for this business.
Right. Now, I will say this. Working on the black side of the industry, the majority of all of them had record deals. So they had budgets. I had guys on the street that were rapping or rhyming cat with hat and wanted a record deal and wanted me to do their music for free. I'm not going to do that. So when I would turn them down, oh, he only works with blacks. No, they're the only ones paying me.
I work for who pays me, fool.
So that's how that kind of got started. And it wasn't until like 96, 97 that I started working with Chicano rappers. And that's when I started not getting paid.
Oh, man. Okay. So, hey, how did Steve Yano get into the rap scene as far as selling it? Was he selling some other music all the time there, or how did that come about?
Yeah, I interview the type of artist that he would sell, whether it's R&B, whether it's rock, whether it's comedy, sold comedy records, whether it's Rodney Dangerfield, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, etc.
Right.
But during that time when rap was really starting to take off, we had a lot of independent rappers that were going press up their records like a Macola or Rainbow Records or a JDC. And what they would do, say you're an independent rapper, Gil, but you don't know how to get it out there. And the only radio station that's playing rap is K-Day, and you don't have no connection in there.
Right.
So you go to the next best thing. You go to the swap meets. So you take your 12-inch and you say, hey, Steve, you know what? I did this song and it's called, Johnny Be Good. And he'll say, okay, look, let me listen to it. And if it's good, I'll buy a couple I'll offer you. And if I sell out, I might put it on the mixtape. If it does good on the mixtape, then maybe I'll have you come back and rap an instrumental to the mixtape. Some people would make it, some people wouldn't. That's how he got into the rap scene, because people came to him.
Okay.
And that's how he met everyone.
I should have asked you this at the beginning. How did you get your name, The Wizard?
Oh,
Were you doing magic tricks or something? What's going on, Tony?
No, you know what? And I always, I say this out of respect for Steve, because I love that dude, but he's no longer here with us. One day, let me go back to the 4th grade. There was like Tony A, there was Tony B, there was Tony M, Tony O. There was 4 Tonys. So the teacher started calling us. When she said Tony, we all like, yes. Okay, no, you're Tony A, you're Tony M. So when I started DJing, promoters said, like, what do they call you? And I said, well, everybody knows me by Tony A from elementary.
Okay.
So they started putting Tony A on the flyer. So Steve was like, nah, man, you need to have a name. You need to have a name. And I was like, I don't know what to call myself. He goes, your friend Joe Cooley, he's Joe Cooley, the king of scratch. We need something like that. One thing I could say that I was really, really quick. I don't know what being quick has to do with being a wizard. So one day he calls me and he says, I got it. And I said, what's that, Steve? TT Wizard. I'm like, it's like I bit something sour. I was like, Okay, what is the TT? The Turntable Wizard. I said, Steve, let's just go with that.
And then the TT, but then eventually came Tony A, the Wizard.
Yes.
It rolls off the tongue nice, so it worked out. I think that's another thing you can scratch off the list and say that Steve helped you out with.
Yes, yes.
So, do you have yet, Tony, release date for the Chicano rap documentary? I'm gonna take a 2-part question. And do you regret even attempting to make the Chicano rap documentary?
You know what? I'm trying to decide which one to answer first. I don't want to say regret, because when I set out to do this, I got a phone call from a close friend that told me, be careful doing that. And I said, why? He said, because I tried it before, and goes, and my own people backstabbed me. Mm-hmm. He said, they knew that I had a budget, but when they knew I had a budget, now they all want to get paid. He said, I'm not going to pay for interviews, bro. I'm going to shine light on you. So when I released my docu-mixery that I did out of my own pocket, I almost went broke with that. But I did that in remembrance and honoring Steve. I only started the podcast just to promote that.
I remember that.
And then the podcast took a life of its own. So we just kept it going. So what happened was I said, look, I got the right team. I got the right plan. Let me go ahead and ask people, if you like this, maybe you might want me to do a Chicano one, because anybody that I was calling was saying, yeah, I'm down. So we started one, and our budget, we saw how much all of our equipment was going to cost. It was going to cost about $13,000.
Easy, yes.
Okay. So we said, let's get a budget of 15. We hit 20. And within a matter of weeks.
Yeah, it was quick. I saw that, man.
Yeah, within a matter of weeks. And I want to explain something. And I hope we don't take too long on this. But
you take your time, Tony.
Okay.
That's what you're here for, brother.
I need people to understand this part. Night Owl, who I considered, rest in peace to him, whom I considered a friend, reached out to me, and he said, hey, man, he says, why don't I just give you some dolls? He goes, I can't sell them anyways. That's what he told me. I can't sell them anyways. And I said, well, I don't want it for free, but I'll buy them off of you. And he goes, no, I'll just send you 10. I said, okay, do me a favor. Let's see if this works. You autograph it, and whoever gives a $50 donation not only will get a doll, but also anything above $50 will get their name on the documentary, that this documentary was only made possible by these people, okay? Even if you didn't want the doll, but if you just gave it over $50, there were people that gave $1,000.
Wow.
There were people that gave $100, $400. That's how they were dropping money. And I was like, wow, this is really going to work. We had the right team. We had everything going, okay? So the doll sold overnight. So like literally overnight. So I hit him up again. I said, hey, bro, I don't want them for free. I want to buy them off of you. He did not want to sell them. That was his kindness towards me. And I said, I don't like to owe anybody. He goes, bro, somos carnales. Like, you don't have to owe me anything. I said, okay, but if they sell out again, I'm going to buy the next ones. Okay, no problem. Sold out in 2 days. So here I am calling him again. Hey, bro, I want some more dolls. Tell your girl to send me the Cash App. I want to pay for them. He never gave me no price. He just sent them to me. People continued to ask me, you got the dolls? So I never called them again on the dolls anymore because I knew he wasn't going to charge me. Now, when things went sour between me, him, and Royalty, okay, he started saying that he gave me those dolls. I raised up all this money, and pretty much I was ripping off the people, that I was never going to do this documentary. Now, here's the part that a lot of people don't know. And I don't say this to talk shit about anybody, but I want to lay down the facts on why it took so long to even get to where we're at when it comes to this documentary. I had a guy working for me named John Elkins. He's a white dude. He was my right-hand man. I trusted this guy with everything. This guy had every password to my website, to my YouTube, to everything. I trusted this guy, and I would pay him monthly. And he was making good money, okay? We were making good money as far as like monetization off the website, the mixtapes that we were reproducing, and we were about to release a documentary on DVD. It was sky's the limit. We were making so much good money that we were about to go into another building.
I remember that.
Okay, and I'll just kind of this part in short. He got scared when things went south with Night Owl Royal, And then when this girl came out with these false allegations, he got scared. Okay, somebody started sending him his address, like through a fake page,
and posting it and stuff.
Yes, and so he came back to me and he said, "Bro, I started this like to have fun, but now I'm getting threatened." The only other person that had his address was that girl. Sandy, the one that we call Sandy Pants.
Right.
Okay. She's the only one that had his address, and the only reason why she had his address because he was supposed to shoot her OnlyFans pictures at his house, but that just never happened. Okay. Well, I know it was her that gave away because she's giving away my address as well and others individuals, even our numbers. Okay. So he got scared, and one day he just packed up and left. He left with the footage that we had for the Chicano rap. He left after I paid him, and he left with half of the equipment. Okay? So people, I'm not going to go public with that. So what I did, whatever was left, I just bought more equipment, what he left with, and I got my team together, a new team. We started filming, COVID hits. Nobody wants to do interviews.
Yeah, everything shut down.
So now we have to reshoot everything that he took. And that's what happened. We're halfway done, like I said before. We haven't started editing anything. And the reason why I don't want to promote it, because the mistake that I learned, never start promoting something before it's done.
Yes.
and I was doing that with my first one.
Te echas la sal.
Yeah. So now, a lot of people, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, okay?
Sure.
A lot of people, how in the hell are you going to do one documentary and cover 30 years or 32 years of Chicano rap? My goal was never to cover 30 years of Chicano rap in one documentary. You have to think the way Hulu thinks, Netflix thinks, Showtime thinks, HBO think, okay? They want content. They just don't want one. My whole plan was bigger. I was going to do, or I plan to do still, a docu-series.
Right.
Okay? That's all I'm going to say. Because the way I think is differently from the way the general public thinks. Here's what they say, where's the money? Where's the money? But I do want to say this. Before Night Owl and Royalty and this girl Sandy went live and started talking about me, not one person ever questioned me. Not one where's the money? Not one person. But it was them. And it was people that were hating on me, not because of what I was doing, but because it was me that was doing it.
Of course.
So,
well, it comes out a lot of times once you're the top dog in town and you were doing very well, and you still are as far as the podcast goes. And I remember that I didn't quite see, I saw it after, and it seemed like it started off as you guys playing. I'm not even sure why the beef happened between you, Royalty. To me, it felt like when guys start playing with each other a little bit too much. Right. In other words, they say don't horseplay because you guys are gonna get into a fight.
Right.
And that's what seemed to happen. Is that what happened with the fight with you guys?
No. It was. Before I answer that, let me say this: that number one, I've never logged off on my Instagram, my Facebook, or my YouTube. I've never ran from anybody. And I say when people ask me about the Chicano rap documentary, I'm here as a man saying that it's still going to come out. I'm still going to make it happen. Right. Okay, and everything that I said I'm going to fulfill it. It took a lot longer because of what I said happened. Okay,
right, of course.
With Night Owl, I had an artist that I was interviewing. We were taking phone calls. The guy who called is a guy named Baby Boy Slim, who's an openly
gay rapper. Right?
Gay rapper.
Okay.
So he called, and I started talking to him, and I said, I want to interview you. I want to give you an interview. Okay, Tony. Let's do this. And that episode is still up, so people can go see how it all started. Night Owl calls, and he pretty much starts insulting this guy. Homosexual, he's a fag, he's this, he's that. How are you going to interview him? He's not representing us. And I was shocked because I consider Night Owl a friend, and for him to call me and pretty much not only insult my guest, but insult me and my podcast live.
Right.
I just kind of like, okay, cool. So we hung up on him. This guy, Baby Boy Slim, calls back. And he was the bigger man. He said, you know what, Night Owl's a legend. I'm not going to disrespect him. That's the way he feels about me. That's the way he feels about me. So then he hangs up. Night Owl calls back. I'm not in control of the phone calls. My boy John is.
Right.
So it's Night Owl again. I'm thinking, why did we pick up? So now he's like, hey, man, I'm not a homophobe. I'm just here to say that you shouldn't have him on. But now he's trying to dictate everything that I do now. So the next day, I called him in a heated conversation, and I've never talked to Night Owl like this. And I'm not here to disrespect him, but I'm just here to lay down the facts of what happened. Hey, bro, don't you ever fucking call my fucking phone again and disrespect me like that, dude. I've been knowing you since 1994, and we've been good, and all of a sudden you want to fucking call me and talk shit live? I'm not going to fucking bang with you over the phone, bro. You know, and he was like, well, you shouldn't have him on. And he goes, you need to start looking. This is what he said. You need to start looking at me like your older homie because I'm older than you. And I said, bro, I got older homies from my own fucking neighborhood. You live all the way in fucking San Diego. Who are you? Well, what you need to do is give me your list for the month.
No, Tony.
And I will tell you who I'm cool with. I had a guy named Nightmare that Night Owl told me, this guy does not deserve to be on your platform. He doesn't deserve the shine. This is what he said. Bro, who are you to tell me? Who are you to tell me, that this guy doesn't deserve the shine? So all of this shit blows over now. Me and him are no longer talking. He's posting up on his page, Rainbow Radio, Tony supports homosexuals. I will no longer be on the documentary. That's what he says. Right. Him and Royalty start going live. They did 4 or 5 live talking all this shit about me. And then you got this other female, false allegations going live with them. So now all of this is coming against me. I got my right-hand man scared now. He leaves, I pay him. He takes off half of my equipment. I started getting death threats. And then in the middle of the show, when I'm interviewing the guy Nightmare, and this episode is still up, my studio gets shot up, live on the air.
Oh, I saw that. So somebody actually did go by there and bust on your house.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. The very next day, and it actually is still up on his page, Night Owl posted up that little clip, and he said, look at these girls run. Then this girl, Sandy, did the same thing. She posted it up. Only posting evidence against themselves.
Right.
And all for what? When here I was trying to shine light on our people. And our very own people are trying to destroy what has been created for them.
That's unfortunate, man, because listen, I now that you say that, you kind of refreshed my memory about the guy Slim. Boy Slim, what's his name?
Baby Boy Slim.
Baby Boy Slim. And I do remember that episode now and going back. To me, it's, who cares? The guy's gay, he raps. What do you want?
Yeah.
And especially if it's your platform, like me, nobody's gonna tell me who I'm gonna bring on my platform. But it's just unfortunate that something so small just took a life of its own, and it's kind of like what we do with Raza a lot of time, dude. We make something like this, and at the end, somebody could have got shot and killed that day. Somebody could have gone to jail. It's like, it's like we're just repeating the same history of gangs over and over and bringing it into the podcast world.
Right. And the thing is, like, that shit didn't scare me. But here's what bothered me. My daughter had just moved in with me. She had came in from Florida because she's in the Air Force. She's been serving now for 7 years. And my grandbabies were living with me at the time. Any of those stray bullets could have hit any of my children or my grandbabies.
Oh, my God, yes.
Okay?
Yes.
You think those fucking people cared? No, they didn't. So what I did, everybody kept asking me, address it. You need to address it. So I just addressed it at the end of the show, and I just said, look, bro, I'm not going to fucking net bang with you. If you want to meet me and you want to talk to me, this ain't no gang shit. This ain't no hood shit. Meet me by yourself like a fucking man. That's when I said, I'll move this whole fucking table, and I'll go heads up with both of you dudes. Live on Roadie Radio for free. And my thing is that, I'm a very confrontational person, so it fucking burns me up to stay quiet.
Now, do you regret that it went down that route, that it went down that path?
I wish none of this would have ever happened. I wish that me and Night Owl could have stayed friends. But when you tell me that you're going to dictate my show, give me your list and I'll tell you who to interview, no.
Now, I know that also affected your show where people were pulling out and didn't want to do interviews with you anymore.
Yeah, because they started hearing of the allegations. Then they started hearing that I was ripping off our people. And then rumors started flying around by both of them and by this female that not only was I a rapist, I was a pedophile, I was a racist, I was a homophobe, all of these things. So then everybody that I had booked, I would call them, hey, man, I need you to confirm your interview. Oh, bro, I don't know, man. I heard that there's even paperwork on you. All of this shit, bro. And I just said, look, bro, I'm going to tell you right now, if you cancel, I will never, ever book you again. Because when all this shit blows over, you're the one that's going to be looking fucking stupid. So they just said, I still live in my neighborhood. I said, and guess what? So do I.
Great answer. I remember all that, and I do remember all of a sudden. Of course, you're gonna hear the rumors, right?
Mm-hmm.
I stood away from it, Tony. I did make a little video about the inner beef with you guys, but it was more like trying to calm the situation down. You and I were not speaking at all at the time, but it was kind of like you communicate through the podcast. But when it came to the allegations of rape and all that stuff, people would try to send me stuff, and I was like, I'm not touching this, dude.
Right.
I'm not touching this because it's a very sensitive subject. I think there was some things that you could have done a little bit better as far as communicating. I know you were upset and there was a lot of name calling, all that. I mean, me personally, I would have probably took it the route where, listen, this young lady obviously has some problems. She should get some help, and that's it. The truth will come out. But it seems like you also started attacking as soon as you started getting those allegations. Did you not?
Yeah, I did. I addressed it one time. That's what I did. I addressed it one time, and I like I said, I called both of those individuals out. And I just told her, pretty much her, that I was going to handle this legally. She's a female. I'm not going to throw blows with a female.
Of course not.
But when I've had a good name in this industry since 1987. And it wasn't until I met this female that everything went downhill as far as with these false allegations.
Right.
And I said to myself, you know what? I'm not going to let this fucking person win. This person is nobody. And for her to come in and just accuse me of some bullshit, I'm not going to stay quiet. I still have to lead my family. I still have to maintain a living.
Yes.
I still have to maintain my name.
Your name, your character.
But one thing I will say, like I said, I've never logged off. I never ran from anybody. I could have easily have hit and said, oh, shit, but I didn't.
Now, let's take, we're going to get back to that subject in a bit. And I owe you apologies, Tony. I said on the West Coast Graffitis podcast that I believed you paid for an interview. And the interview that I believe you paid for was Noella G, because Noella G tried to ask us for some money. Did you pay for Noella G's interview?
No, I did not. No, as a matter of fact, I didn't even pay for a second interview. Okay.
I owe you an apology, Tony. I'm sorry. I thought you did, don't we?
No, I didn't. And if I did, I would tell you, but I've never paid anybody for an interview. People have always asked me, how come you don't interview Crazy D from NWA?
Oh, that's a question I was going to get to.
Okay. Crazy D from NWA, I contacted him for my documentary.
Now, before you get that, who exactly was Crazy D from NWA?
He did that part on Dope Man. I'm putting in your culo a 38 slug.
Okay.
So everybody knows him from that.
Yes.
And cool dude. I've been knowing that guy since the 80s. We've always gotten along. I started doing some music with him in the late 90s, early 2000s before I started working, before I got a job and got out of the music. And when I reached out to him, he told me, I want to get paid, bro.
Straight up.
Straight up. Keep in mind, I called up Mr. Cartoon, no problem. I called up one of the most important people in hip hop, period, a woman by the name of Violet Brown. Okay. I've been on her since I've been 18, 19 years old. No problem. Lonzo from the World Class Wrecking Crew, Arabian Prince, former member of NWA, Clientele from the World Class Wrecking Crew, Little Easy, King T. Nobody ever asked me for nothing. But this guy, I want $2,500. That's what he told me.
Straight up.
And I just said, nah, bro. Another one, Warren G. No problem. Come to my studio. Okay. When I did the podcast, I said, let me just, since we're not filming him, as far as a documentary is concerned, it's just an interview. He wanted to get paid again. So I just said, you know what? I'm not even going to bother, reaching out to this guy.
Yeah, I'm not even going to entertain it anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. So everybody, why don't you get Crazy D? The only Chicano in NWA. Look, let me say this, okay? People are going to get mad because I'm going to tell the truth.
That's what we're here to hear.
Crazy D is Italian and Irish. So when people say he was the only Mexican, let's just get that straight. He wasn't the only Mexican. He wasn't a Mexican to begin with. And I don't say that disrespectfully.
Right.
But when people give him that title, he's the only Mexican in NWA. No, he wasn't. As a matter of fact, on that cover, everybody thought he was a white guy.
Yes.
He's Italian and Irish, and that's
he pretty much is a white guy.
Yeah. So, and I don't say that disrespect because that's what he is.
Now, I myself, I won't pay anybody for an interview. And actually, I got somebody who hit me up, drop out on this one. I won't say the name. We'll talk after air. hit me up. Hey man, when you get my boy on with you, Apu? All right, no problem, man. I'll hit you up. I hit him up on. I see this guy at the Urbicon. I hit him up on Tuesday or something, right? Hey, what's up, man? So when you want to schedule this? No problem. But he's gonna need a little bit of money. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, you got the wrong number, homeboy. Like you hit me up to get the interview, and now you're soliciting money." No, man. I think once you start having to pay guys, I mean, I could see it if it was in the rap game and you're doing collabs or something. Or the only way I would sit here and say, you know what, I will pay for this. If it was somebody, you tell me if I'm wrong on this. If it's somebody who lives out of state, it's a hot interview. I tell them, listen, bro, I will pay for your flight. I will pay for your room. Come over here. I'll pay for like 2 days or whatnot. Right. And then you go back. That I would be willing to do. Would you?
I did that one time, and this is how it happened, and I shared it when I had you over to Roading Radio.
Yes.
I booked a guy named Tash from the Alcoholics, and I said, man, let's do this. And so he goes, okay, cool. So the day before, I sent him my address. I said, arrive at 6:30, we go live at 7. And he goes, wait, I thought this was a Zoom. And I said, nah, bro, you need to call me because we already released a flyer. So he calls me, and I go, where are you at? And he said, I'm in Las Vegas. He said, can we just do Zoom? I said, I don't do Zoom, bro. You should have told me that when I booked you a month ago.
Yes.
So then he was like, oh, man, I didn't know. And I said, look, fuck. I said, I don't want to cancel you, bro, because a lot of people are hyped up on it. Let me see how much a ticket is, bro. Unless you're going to drive. And he goes, nah, I don't want to drive. And I said, okay. I bought him a ticket. It was $150. And he stayed with some family out here. So it costed me $100. Now, if people want to say, oh, you paid him. I bought his ticket, bro.
No, that's not paying him.
So that was it, and he stayed like for the weekend, and we still talking. He wants to get one of his artists on the podcast.
I mean, I'm even thinking I'll give you a gas card, homie, because I mean, there is some people who don't have the means and stuff like that. But I think that what happens is that you have I don't know about Adam 22. I don't know quite if he pays. I think he's just so hot and popping that people will go on there. But I know Vlad TV for sure pays for interviews, and I think a lot of people think that they think that people are making all this money and that they want a cut of the pie, right?
Right. I want to give a shout out to a guy that I know named P-Funk. He used to be on the radio back in the days. I've been knowing this guy now for about a year and a half, and when I met him, we hit it off really, really good. He's the guy that called me and told me, hey, bro, would you want to interview Noel G? And I just said, yeah, okay. So I'll be honest with you, I thought he was fucking around. Right. So then he goes, here's his number, contact him. So I called him, and he was like, yo, I'll do it. He says you're good, and I'm good, and cool. The second time, he reached out to me.
Nice.
And he goes, hey, man, I got this coming out. Why don't you bring also my boys from Bow Down Clothing? So I interviewed them both.
You got? All right.
Yeah, I interviewed them both. And Noel G now wants me to work with him doing some music for filming that he's going to be doing.
Very cool. Well, to Noel G's credit, I never personally spoke with him. My old co-host was the one that said he spoke to him, and he was trying to offer him some money. And I told him at the time, I said, man, I wish I had a studio not here in my home. I would have, if he would have told me this or anybody else, I said, I would have brought him on air. I would have said, here's your money on air live. Now get the hell out of here. I swear to God, if I had the studio, that's what I would have done. But he never personally told me he wanted them, and that's why I believe that it was. But there's a lot of guys out there, homie, that I've had a preacher tell me he wanted 5 racks.
Preacher?
Yeah, I'll put it out there, dude. You're putting your shit out there, I'll put it out there. Fernando Vargas, I hit him up. I hit everybody up. Every Chicano Latino I've hit up, homeboy, right? I hit him up. And I get a response. I said, oh, dope. Oh, man, yeah, for sure. We this and that. We'd be interested. I said, oh, shit, Fernando Vargas. Dope. Yeah. So what happens is then I get a DM again. They're like, hey, so Fernando's he's in Mexico. That's when his son was fighting maybe a year ago back in Mexico. But he's interested when he comes back. I said, no problem. Hit me up, dude. And then he's like, hey, so Fernando's back. So when you want to schedule it, just to let you know, we asked for $5K up front. I think he wanted like $10,000.
What the?
I don't know if he got the hint. I told him, no problem, man. Send me your cash. I was going to send him like $10. And here's for your time. I'm sorry for wasting your time. But yeah, they wanted like 5 racks. But that guy was supposedly on his thing is the pastor. He's I don't know if it's his pastor or whatever it is. But yeah, the pastor was looking for about $5,000 to $10,000 to come in and interview. I was like, and that seems like that's the game with a lot of these bigger stars. But I'm sure when they go on huge platforms like, like Adam 22 or even the Tonight Show, let's say, we're not at that level. No, you go on there to promote your stuff, and it's kind of a win for both. And the way I see it, and it kind of upsets me, is there is no real Chicanos in California doing podcasts like we're doing, right? There really isn't. Right. We're filling that void now. We're giving that platform for people to be able to come on, but we need their help. You know, we help out guys who have lower platforms than us to kind of give them that exposure. Yes. So we need our actors, and then some do come in, you know, some come to both our platforms, but it seems like the guys on the very top, they don't want to mess with us, dude.
No, they don't. You know, one thing, and I say this to encourage people that are going to get into podcasting or on podcasts. People always say, you know, how did you get people to tune in? I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just bought a computer. I thought I had bought the right computer because later on, you know, my boy tells me, oh, you need to get another one. Oh, fuck, okay. This one costs $700. What is that one going to cost? $1,700. Oh, all right, cool. Let's get it then. We turned it on, man, and I'll be honest, I started drinking the fucking beer, and then we just started chopping it up, and then people started tuning in, and before you know it, you know, I was averaging 7 to 10K views a episode.
Right.
And I would think to myself, because I would never go back and look at my interviews, you know, but I was like, what the fuck are they watching for? Like, it was just my weird way of thinking.
Right.
But I started to enjoy it because I started feeling like, you know what, I'm giving people a platform, giving people an opportunity, people's voices are being heard, and it's for our people. It's our people to shine. You know, we don't have a platform.
Yes.
You know, we don't have a Vlad. We don't have a Joe Rogan. No. We don't have a Adam 22. You know, we don't have you know, if they ever give any of us an interview on K-Day or on Power 106, it's probably a 10-minute interview, but they don't play our music.
Yes.
They'll just interview us.
Yes, I've seen it.
So here we are giving people a platform, and they want to get paid.
That's how it is, and that's how I think we stay at that bottom of the barrel mentality, man. Until we come together and figure out, hey, man, together we got power, and we need to, you know, let everybody shine, man. So right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna speak, and I want to talk about the allegations because they're pretty serious allegations.
Absolutely.
I think some were like sexual assault.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was rape or at least it was said.
She was saying that.
It was said it was rape, sexual assault. I mean, all kind of crazy stuff. And I want to know if you're going to be willing to open up and speak about this stuff.
It's time to open up the paperwork and show everybody everything.
Okay. And so what we're going to do, first of all, though, is we're going to take a 8-minute break, guys. We'll be back. 8 minutes. Stay tuned. Let's do this.
Awesome.
1 2 1 2.
Thank you, sir.
Please remind me to sign this after, okay?
Yeah. When did you sign it now? You're gonna forget. Trust me.
I won't. I promise I won't.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. A lot of times we forget and they don't sign. I think that thing's on Fade to Black. That's why too, Chris. There you go, big guy. Damn, look at this. We got 2-1, Chris. 2-1. There you go. All right, so we're back. We're back. We're about to start going into I guess the best way to put it is muddy waters, right?
Yes, absolutely.
We're about to go into muddy waters. Can you give me the couple pages you had as far as your accusations?
Yeah. Hold on.
See what you got.
Okay. All right. I don't want to give it too much too soon.
No problem. I just want to read some stuff here.
Right.
All right. So, Tony, yeah, these are some pretty about as bad as accusations you can get here. You have complained for damages for sexual battery, public disclosure of private facts, and then you've also had your name slandered all over the internet, right?
Yes.
So before we start talking on the case and what happened or what not, I want to talk to you about how did you meet this person? And the person I'm talking about is obviously Sandy, right?
Right.
Okay, which was the plaintiff in the case.
Yes. Let me go back to August. I believe it was August 4th, but I know it was August of 2019. I'm at a car show, and is everything good?
Yeah, no, it's this thing.
Okay.
Take my headphones out. I'm sorry.
It's all good. I'll wait.
Go ahead.
Okay. It was August of 2019. She approached me at a car show. I didn't even know who she was. She came up to me and she says, "Hey, your manager spoke to me and said that you were looking for an interview for Dash Radio." Now, I didn't know who she was, okay? I had heard about her name, Sandy Pants, because that's somewhat of an odd name, but that's what she refers to herself as.
Correct.
So I just said, I don't know who might have told you that because I don't have a manager. So I don't know if she just made that up just to approach me. But she says, but if you want, I cannot get you on Dash Radio as of yet, but I can interview you on my podcast. It's called Sandy's Insights, and it's about relationships.
Right.
So from there, that's when we started following each other on Instagram. So that's how we met, was at a car show, August 2019.
And did she start becoming like a regular person at your podcast for a minute?
No, not at all. Her first time there from August to October, October 4th was the first time that she actually ever appeared on my podcast as I don't want to say as a guest to interview, but just to show up. Right. I remember because I was interviewing my good friend Ernie G from Proper Dos. But from August to October, maybe sometime in September, I did her podcast, okay? And it's important I bring this up because even though it's about relationships, she allowed me to squeeze in the documentary, that I promoted it.
Yes.
But on there, I uplifted, I praised women, and I said that women should be loved, protected, educated, by us men, okay? Right. I spoke highly of women. Now, when these allegations came out, she took down my interview because it contradicted what she was saying about me, and she didn't want anybody to see me uplifting women.
Well, she probably just wanted to take that video down of you and her speaking. I mean, even you could have probably said if it was a horrible thing, I'm sure she would have left it up. But I'm sure, regardless of what it was, she would have also taken it down.
Yes and no. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I gave her an interview on my podcast, and I didn't take mine down.
Oh, you haven't taken yours down?
No, I didn't. And if anybody wants to go see it, it's episode 5 the following week. 2019, October 9th, episode 5.
Episode 5. That's at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So she was there at the very beginning of your podcast.
We started in September 11th, 2019. So the following month, yeah, she was there.
Okay.
This was when I was only doing like Wednesdays and stuff like that.
Well, I know she was always in your comment section. That's for sure.
That's for damn sure.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Now,
So you see, I've been a fan for a long
Right.
time, Tony.
okay. Now, but let me clear the air on something here. Okay. Within a 7.5 month span, that's why I gave you a timeline there, and we're gonna go through it. And it's very important for people to see this. Everybody thought that she was always there.
Yes, I thought that all the time.
Everybody thought that. People even thought that she was actually even my girl, or she was insinuating that she was my girl.
Right.
Here's what she would do. She would come, start videotaping stuff. I still say videotape, but recording on her
Right.
phone. I would tell her when she can and when she cannot come. Okay. When she couldn't come, she would put on her story what she had already put previously and put just got here. Every time. So everybody thought she was always there. She wasn't. If I had to count maybe 6 or 7 times, she was there.
Now, would she come by herself?
All the time by herself.
Now, I must say that it seemed like at times you guys would be heavily drinking over there. Would party. Now, would you guys after the podcast sit there and party and drink with this lady?
Maybe for about 20 minutes, but I never sat there and, necessarily drank with her. She said in court that I poured her a shot and then my son poured her a shot. To be quite honest with you, the day that she's claiming that this assault happened, I didn't even remember if she was even there. And when I testified, that's exactly what I said. I didn't even remember she was actually even there. So I just think she picked a specific date because it fit her story or her lie a little bit better.
Now, when did you first hear of it? Did she because from what I remember, she said something about she left your house. She had a flat tire or something or another. Mm-hmm. She tried calling you, and then you sent, I don't know if your son over here or somebody else went over there to help her.
Right.
Is that the case?
Okay, well, let me get to that really quick because
sure.
there's something that I need to cover. Okay. The night that she's claiming that this happened was January 8th, 2020.
Okay.
So now here we have October 4th, the first time she comes, then January 8th that this happens. Okay.
Right.
Now, this is what she testified. Again, I didn't even remember she was actually even there. In court, she testified that I poured her first shot. Okay. I don't remember that. My attorney, and I want to give him a shout out, Masood Khan, and I also want to thank Erica, his paralegal, who helped me with this. She said, my attorney asked her, did you see him put anything in it? She testified, no. Who poured you the second shot and how soon after? Maybe a few minutes later, his son poured me a shot. Did you see him pour it? Yes. Did he put anything in it? No. So what did you do next? I went and sat down and I asked his son to hand me a beer and he gave me a Modelo. I took one sip and I passed out. That's her story.
That's your story.
Yeah.
Do you remember the night?
Yeah, I remember the night.
And are you corroborating your dad's story, or are you got anything to add to it?
No, yeah, honestly,
Hit the mic.
honestly, off top, we walked her out early. I have a video. We presented it. They didn't want to see it. They threw it out. We live in Wilmington. You don't see Lambos. You don't see stuff come by. Bobby D pulls up in his Lambo. We're there with his assistant, Blanca, and my dad. I literally locked up. There was nobody else there.
So that was the night.
story.
That was the night. Again, I didn't even remember she was even there. So when I heard of these allegations, I had to go back and I started asking my team, hey, bro, was she even there? So and then my son actually found a picture of them celebrating because the next day was her birthday. So they took a picture together taking a shot.
Right.
Not with me in it, okay? So a couple of minutes later, she calls me, oh my God, my car, because she had already left.
Right.
I just told her, hold on, be quiet. And everything that I'm sharing right here, I can back it up with paperwork because it's what I testified. And I said, hold on, what's going on? Do you hear that? So I heard the thump, 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 thump. And I said, okay, you probably got a flat tire. Just pull over.
Yes.
That part she didn't testify because her story was, I just woke up on the side of the road. So I told my attorney when he asked me and her attorney, because he didn't even cross-examine me when I told my attorney, I talked to her. I don't know where she got this whole story that she woke up on the side of the road. So what I did, I called up my friend Alex, and I said, my friend Alex is a mechanic at a body shop. He has Cervantes Auto Repair. So I called him up and I said, hey, she's right there on the 110, right by the 405, maybe 15, 20 minutes away at the most. He went over there. Then she calls my son like right after. Why she called him, I don't know. I had already spoke to her. After she talked to my son, she talked to my brother. Her and my brother, I don't know if they ever really had a thing going on, but I know that they were always in contact with each other.
Right.
Okay. So my boy.
Well, by now you should know if her and your brother had something going on. I'm sure you've asked the guy, hey, did you and her mess around?
Well, she testified in court that she had just recently seen my brother.
Okay.
So anyway, my boy Alice goes over there, fixes the car. My attorney asks him, how did she look? She looked normal. Was any of her makeup messed up? No. Was her clothes out of place?
So you just came from trial right now. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
How long was the trial?
About a week and a half.
Okay, and this was what, like 2 years in the making to get to this trial?
Because of COVID, it knocked everything out.
Okay, and was it with a judge or was it with the jury?
Well, I'm going to get to that because
Okay.
I need to explain what civil and criminal is.
Okay.
Because for 2 years, she's been lying that this is a criminal case.
That's what I thought at first, yes.
Okay, and it's never been criminal. And I have paperwork that I'm going to share with you and you could put up as well so that the
Right.
public can see the lies that she's fabricated.
Right.
Well, what happened was my attorney asked her as well, was your makeup smeared or anything? I don't know. I didn't see myself. Do you remember what you wore that night? Yes, I wore a black dress. Do you still have that black dress? Yes. Do you remember the guest that was there? Yes, the name was Bobby D. Do you remember what you drank? Yes, I drank Patron. Yeah, I drank a Modelo. Then I got home. My mom hugged me for happy birthday. Did you look at yourself in the mirror? No, I never looked at myself in the mirror. What did you do? I just put my PJs and went to bed. So, and then he hit her with this. You remember the guest. You remember what you drank. 2 tequila shots, Patron Silver. 1 Modelo. You remember waking up. You remember him fixing your tire. You remember going home, hugging your mom. And then you remember not looking at yourself in the mirror, but you don't remember you got raped?
What did she say?
She didn't know what to say. She just stood quiet. Half of the time when she couldn't answer, it was always like, I don't understand your question.
Now, when did you first get wind of you're being accused of rape? That's got to be a real phone call.
Actually, it was a text message, okay? Somebody sent me a screenshot that she posted up. It's loading. Make sure you subscribe for the latest chisme.
Jeez.
Okay? And I was like, what the hell is that? And this female, I'll tell you who she is because in court, Sandy ratted her out, okay? And I'll give the names of the people that also that she has falsely accused that have tried to rape her because that's her whole get down.
Oh, she's done this before.
Oh, plenty of times, and I'll give you the names right now. So what happened was this girl texts me, and she goes, hey, she says that she's got a case against you. I said, about what? Keep in mind, I'm totally oblivious to this. Oh, she said that you raped her. What the fuck? That's exactly what I said. So I just kept texting her. I was like, I don't know what the hell she's talking about. So now on the date of, I want to say, December 2020, that's when she posted it up. That's when she posted up. But I have to go back because I need you to see something, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And I need the public to see this. On the night of the alleged so-called rape was January 8th, 2020.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I need you to see this because this is very, very important and the public needs to hear this. On February 26th, the following month, she makes me the beneficiary of her will.
Wait. So after she accuses you of rape, a month later, she's making you the beneficiary of her will?
When she accused me was January 8th when the incident happened.
Right, January 8th.
Okay. But the following month, she makes me the beneficiary of her will. So now, you can read it, but just don't read the address.
No, of course, no.
Okay. But now, here's what happened. My attorney asked her this, and I think this is very important for the public to hear this. And my son right here will confirm it. The next day, what happened? This is January 9th now. It's her birthday. She said, I felt pain in my rectum, my vaginal, and in my throat. That's what she said.
Right.
Now, everything that I say, I can back up with paperwork when I get the stamp approved. Okay? So anybody wants that out there listening, I can send it to you because it's public record.
Right.
Okay. Here's what she said. I had these pains. Did you go to the doctor the next day? No, I just went to work. Okay. Here's the one that got me. Okay. What do you work at? At a doctor's office.
A doctor's office?
That's what she said. So, did you go the next day? No. Did you still feel discomfort? Yes. Where? My rectum, my vaginal, and my throat. That's what she said. Okay. Did you go the following week? No. Did you go the following month? No. And he said, why didn't you go? I didn't feel that I needed to.
That's if that is the case, Tony, it's a little crazy.
Okay. All of this, I'm going to continue to repeat this. I can back it up with paperwork. That's what she testified.
You got transcripts of this.
Yes.
Eventually.
Okay. So that was, again, the night she claimed she was raped was January 8th. February 26th, the following month, I'm on her will. So my attorney asked her.
Yeah, but say, so what did she say to this?
I trusted him. I considered him a friend.
After accusing him of rape?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
A good friend at that.
Okay.
It's in paperwork too.
Well, obviously she considered you some kind of friend. Maybe she has no like friends like that. And but yeah, that's very strange to say the least.
Let's look at the dates really quick because this is important. From October to February, how many months is that?
What is it, like 3-4 months?
Okay. Of knowing me, 3 to 4 months.
Right.
Now I'm on her will.
Well, I don't know if it's a will. It's more of a.
She testified that it's a will.
Well, it's one of those that when you're going to take a surgery and you this is like the person that next of kin kind of thing that's usually to your husband or somebody else. But yeah, she definitely put it here and it definitely says the date on it.
You know what she was going to surgery for?
Probably some plastic surgery or something.
She had a tumor in her head.
Oh Jesus.
Okay, and she takes regular medication. You know, and she put me on there, and I told her, don't put me on there. Do not put me on there. That's what I testified.
So do you think that maybe that medical issue she has and the surgery and all that, or what she has in there, maybe that's what made her come out and say all these things about that happened to her?
Something, either that or, you know, my thing is this, because she has accused other men of trying to do the same thing.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, let me give you some of those names if I could. Okay.
Up to you.
But I want to say this, and I want to state this loud and clear. I never believed that these people did this or tried to.
Okay.
I want to make that clear. Okay. So from the time that I met her, October 4th, till I want to say the last time that I saw her was May 10th. October 4th to May 10th, 7.5 months that I've known her. Every time we would talk after a show, I'd see her arguing on the phone. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, this guy right here, man, he won't leave me alone. Well, who is it? Oh, she told me that. Then she shows me a screenshot where he said, now I don't even know if that's even his screenshot, okay? Right. So I have to say that, where he threatened her, and I testified to this, okay? I'm gonna put a bullet through your fucking head. So I said, why would he say that to you? Oh, because I wouldn't give it up. I didn't want to be with him. And I said, Sandy, that doesn't even sound right. I want to be with you. And then you say, no, I'll put a bullet through your fucking head. That doesn't even sound right.
Right.
And here's the other guys. And believe me, I don't like doing this, but I'm doing this to warn these men that still talk to her. They shouldn't associate themselves with her. And it's about time that somebody expose a liar like this. Okay. One of them was, she throughout these 7 months, every time we talk, may try to rape me. How did he try to rape you? And this is what she said. I went upstairs to change. I was doing a video shoot. He went upstairs, followed me. I'm trying to walk out. He stands in front of me. Then I go to the left. He does this. And he does this. And I go, what? Well, how was that trying to rape? Well, you should have just seen his face.
I mean, it could be coming aggressive towards you. It's not quite a rape, but why, after hearing stuff like that, didn't you distance yourself from her?
Well, here's what happened. I ended up telling my team after like the last one. The last one was, and I know for a fact she never even met him, the last one was Night Owl. This one, she did tell me that Night Owl did rape her. So what I did as a friend, I called him up and I told him, listen, bro, this girl is fucking sick, bro. I talked to my whole team. We're about to cut her off. Like, we're done with this. We're done. Have you ever met this girl? Because most likely I know you haven't. I never even met that fucking broad. When Night Owl came against me, I found out that Night Owl reached out to her. Of course, she said, I lied, whatnot.
Yeah, because I actually spoke to Night Owl, and he brought that up to me, and he told me that, this is what he told me.
Right.
He told me that you threw his name in the mix, that she never said anything about you, pretty much what you're saying right now, and that you just kind of threw him in there and called him up and said, hey, man, she's accusing you of raping her too, and that she spoke to her, and she denied ever saying that.
Well, I'm here to say that I know for a fact you never even met her. I called him up to tell him that. I know for a fact these other men never even attempted this, okay? Because I don't believe her.
Now, let's get back to the room. Who was there that night in the studio? Because the studio's about the size of this room here, right?
Yeah.
So who was there in the studio that night?
Honestly, off top, it was me, my dad, at the time, John Elkins, Blanca. Like, I'm telling you, it was
Bobby D, Doc Nasty.
Bobby D was there as well.
Yeah,
Doc
yeah.
Nasty, okay.
And again, I don't remember her being there.
And did everybody leave at the same time, or did she stay?
She left first. I locked the door.
So in order for this to have happened, it would have happened in front of everybody.
Of course.
Yeah, it would have happened in front of everybody because, like I said, I have a video of the last video where the last people leaving. I'm locking the gate. You walked out the gate. I'm
Yes.
locking the gate. The Lambo's literally pulling out. I have the video still to prove it, and it's me, my dad, and his assistant.
So they were all there. So where did she try to say this happened? In what room? And I mean,
She said it happened on the couch.
so that it would have happened. I mean, the room is like this.
And she's blaming me and my dad and the cameraman.
The reason why I brought my son in is because she didn't have to do this. And to me, I thought that was fucked up.
Yes.
You got something against me? Okay, fine. But don't bring my son into this. And she put him on there.
Oh yeah, I saw that when it was all
Okay.
going down. She was,
Not only that I don't cut nobody off, but I was still going out with her sister 6 months after this has happened. This is already June of 2020.
And what's
way after the allegations.
so you were messing around?
I
Or
was
dating
messing around with her sister. Straight up. We were messing around with her sister for
And
over
what-
6 months.
and what's the
she
sister
never
telling
said
you?
nothing. She's like, her sister's not even acquainted with her today. Still. They were never good friends. She told me, she goes, I didn't become close to my sister until I started hanging out with you. That said it all.
Her sister got into an argument with Sandy. It was a sister argument because the sister was accusing Sandy of trying to get with my son.
yes.
He could probably tell you a little bit more about that.
Now,
but
did you ever fool around with Sandy whatsoever?
Not once.
Did anybody else fool around with Sandy as far?
no,
Did you
but
know?
I know several artists that when she was there, she'd hit them up the following day,
Right.
and they'd go out and they'd do their thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're adults; they can do what they want.
That's a different story. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a different
Us,
story.
We never
Right.
messed with her, touched her, nothing like that.
So-
we looked out for her and even got her artist to go on her show
Right.
that nobody was watching, as a matter of fact. So
Now, let me just continue to share something, and I think this needs to stick into the listener's mind. October 4th, first time she's there. The last time she's there is May 10th, 2020. That was Mother's Day. The reason why she asked to come was because she claimed that she wanted to meet DJ Dominator, my friend Arturo. Okay.
Right.
I said, that's the last time you come, and that's it. Okay. So from October 10th to October 4th to May 10th, that was probably about 7.5 months that I've known her, maybe seen her 6 or 7 times, never seen her outside the studio, nothing. Okay. So that was the last time she was there. Then on June 10th, the following month, she was on the live chat, like the live chat
Yes.
on YouTube, insinuating that like we were messing around. Somebody asked her, and my son screenshotted it. Sandy, I heard Tony A is smashing that. And she said, I guess I don't have to post everything up on social media. That's how she would interact. So is it true? Well, I'm not admitting it or denying it. When my son showed me that, I told my team, I said, we're blocking her. We're done. We're done. Now, I say this to warn her followers. She has an app on her phone. This is how serious she takes Instagram. Whenever somebody unfollows her or blocks her, she gets a notification who it is.
Oh wow.
it's
Okay.
only like $5 a month too.
Really?
So when we blocked her, 5 minutes later, that's when it all fucking started. Ha, motherfucker, you think you can fucking block me? You know what? I'm gonna fucking expose you for the piece of shit that you are. And that's how it all started. I thought I could be the bigger man and not respond and not say anything, but enough was enough. I had to take legal action after months of Tony A raped me, Tony A this, and she just wouldn't stop. So I really don't know, honestly, like, here's the crazy part, and try to understand this. May 10th, she leaves. According to her, and she testified that she was in a relationship with DJ Dominator for 6 months. Okay, my friend DJ Dominator would tell me he wasn't dating her, he was just sleeping with her.
Right.
She knew that I was going through things with my girlfriend. Okay, and I guess Sandy must have thought that I'm gonna take him away from her. That didn't happen. Things went sour after I told him, be very careful with that girl, bro. You don't know what you're getting into. Well, he ended up breaking up with her. I'm going back with my girlfriend. She started with the same bullshit with him. Okay. And I have something, let me see. This is something that she sent him. And I need you to take a look at it, please.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay. This is an email. You can see who it's from. And I want you to look at the threat at the bottom. Can you read it? It starts with avocados.
Really, avocados? You're pathetic. Should I send your mom the picture of you on my vagina with different word, or should I mail it to her?
Here's what happened. Dominator had posted something about avocados. She took it personal. She thinks that everything that, if I say, for an example, all these easy hoes, he's talking about me. She owns up to everything. So when he posted something about avocados, she thought that he was referring to her because she claims that she's allergic to avocados, so it had to have been me. So in court, this exhibit was used because she sent not only him, not only his girlfriend, a picture of him performing oral sex on her. She had no problem sending those pictures out to those guys, or to him and his girlfriend.
Right.
And that picture was displayed in court along with the threat. And they asked her, why did you do this? Oh, because I was angry. That's how she justified it.
Now, you guys this court case is obviously over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
It's done.
okay, this is what I heard. I've got, as soon as I posted that you were coming on the show, I got a message, and it was a message from, it wasn't directed to me exactly,
Right.
but it was one of her posts. And this is what Sandy says, and I'll say it that way,
Right.
It'll be her side of the story. She was just saying that don't believe anything that's happening. The paperwork that you have, which obviously is not stamped, is not done yet. It's still got to come out in the records. It'll be out in 2 or 3 weeks. But my question is this to you. My question is to Sandy. Who won the case? What was the verdict of the case?
Okay, before I give that answer, well, I need to explain what civil and criminal is.
Yes, please.
Okay. Criminal is when you face criminal charge, you go to criminal court, you're looking at jail time.
Yes.
You're looking at jail time. I've never, ever been approached by a police officer. I received a letter in the mail one time, but I never did any time. I was never arrested. Nothing. I was never.
Were you interviewed by the cops about this? Or
No,
just
nothing.
phone call? Nothing.
Nothing.
They never even took it seriously whatsoever.
Nothing.
Not one time.
Okay. So she was telling people that, for an example, this one right here, from the city attorney, she went and tried to make a false report that she was raped. So she would post this up. You're not going to get away from me this time.
Yes.
Okay. And then the second one, she just reposted it again. You're not going to get away from me this time. Okay. So and then I finally got this letter. And if you could read it or if you want to post it
Yeah,
up,
for sure.
this is from the city attorney.
I think we got that picture up there.
Yeah.
Chris, is this one right here if you want to look for it real quick.
I think it's important for the people to see that.
One of these ones here. No, that's not it either. Try that one. Which one you got? It's only no, it's probably the other one. You got to probably flip it. Go ahead, start
That's
flipping
it right
that one,
there.
and I'll read it while
That's it right there.
while you flip it. All right, this one is dated 8/19/2021. Antonio Alvarez, file number HIVV00334. Dear Antonio Alvarez, this letter is to inform you that the above numbered case was heard by the office on May 6, 2021. The case was resolved at this hearing, and no criminal charges were filed against you.
Okay.
So pretty much saying that, well, what I get from this is they went and talked to the cops. And the cops were probably like, dude, you've got nothing.
Right. And I have also the police report. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of small. Right here, they crossed everything out that literally says no evidence was presented. So
Real quick.
Hold on. Just let him look at that, please.
You talking about down here?
No, the top corner part, you see those little tiny X's that they
Yes,
crossed
yes.
out? Can you read some of those?
The one that says case screening factors?
Yes.
It says suspect not seen, prints or other evidence not present, property loss is not there, no response. Pretty much, they had no evidence. Is what it's saying.
Nothing.
Right.
But she still went not only to a city attorney, but to the police to try to fill out a false police report. Okay?
What were you gonna say?
Go ahead.
She didn't even go straight to criminal. She went straight to civil. When you go straight to civil,
Brian,
you're trying to get money.
I'm going to explain that.
Yeah, I'm just telling you.
So,
Oh, so I thought she went. Well, I thought she went straight to the cops and tried to get you charged. Well, at first I thought, like everybody else, we all believed that Tony A was being charged for rape, like pretty much straight up. And I thought that you were actually arrested, booked, and all that. None of that ever happened, Tony.
Nothing,
You never got booked. There's no mugshot somewhere on TMZ with Tony A's picture on there.
I'll tell you what, if you guys can find it, I'll give you guys $1,000.
I might make one for $250.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So what happened is this. So here's the difference, and I have to explain this to the public, because there's a lot of idiots out there that will believe anything she posts.
Yes.
So criminal, as we read, I face no criminal charges. Criminals, when you face time.
Yes.
She would tell people on social media, he's facing criminal charges. He's going to be arrested eventually. That never happened. No criminal charges were ever, was I ever facing any kind of time. Now, civil is when you go and sue for money.
Yes.
So criminal court, time, civil, money. It was money from the very beginning. Now, let me explain. She took me to two small claims courts because there was a picture floating around social media,
I was gonna get to that.
okay, of her
Giving oral sex.
giving oral sex to somebody, okay? When I saw that, I just reposted it on my story,
Why would you do that, Tony?
okay? Because I was angry and I acted on impulse.
Okay, because I saw that right away, and I thought to myself, and I talked to somebody in your team, I'm not sure who it was, and I told him, dude, that was such a bad move. I'm like, you're getting charged or you're getting accused of rape, and then you're posting a picture of her, giving somebody a blowjob, for lack of better words.
Right.
So yeah, so that was just you pissed off.
I was just angry, so here's what I did. After 2 hours, I took it down. After 2 hours, I took it down. Well, she screenshot it.
Of course.
But here's the thing. There was other people that had posted that picture up, okay? She didn't go after them. She went after me.
Now the question is, was that picture you, Tony?
No,
I gotta ask, right?
No,
Was that picture you?
No, sir.
absolutely not. So she doesn't even know, thank you. She doesn't even know who that is. She doesn't even know what day that was, when it was, or whatever, because she was asked these questions in court. Now, you seen the exhibit of her, right?
Yes.
Before I ask you the question, I need to tell you what my attorney questioned her. Is that your hand on the penis? And she said, yes. So you are holding the penis? Yes. Is that your tongue reaching out, touching the head of the penis? Yes. So for the record, you're saying that this is your hand and this is your tongue sticking out? Yes. So you're telling the court you're unconscious right there? And she said, yes. Okay, just want to ask you one more time. This is your hand and that's your tongue. And you're telling us that you're unconscious here. And she said, yes. So I'm going to ask you, you seen the exhibit.
Yes.
Did she look unconscious to you?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. But that's what she said in court. And when the paperwork comes out, I'll give it to whoever wants to see it. But that's what she said. That's how bad she was trying to push this on me.
Now, do you think that Sandy just, has some type of mental issues?
I believe she does. I believe she does. She told me she takes medication for mental issues because she doesn't work. She's on permanent disability. She's 33 years old and lives at home with her parents.
Right. Well, there's a lot of people nowadays doing that.
Yeah.
But and that's kind of what, like I said, when somebody hit me up about it and they said something, I said, man, Tony should have just taken a different route with that. I understand you were very pissed off, but it seems, and even to this day, Tony, I think you guys sometimes like let the let your audience, they call her certain names. They say certain phrases. I even blocked those words because I didn't want them coming on the show, right? Straight up. And I think you guys know you're innocent, right? And can you guys move on from this where you're not making those comments? Because if this girl is, does have certain mental issues, that have certain stuff, don't you think you guys should be the bigger men and finally say, all right, the case is done. We need to stop using this stuff?
Yeah,
what do you got?
Let him answer first, and then I'll answer me.
Honestly, I think she needs to be made an example. How many other people have been convicted of rape or been convicted
I
of
understand
anything?
that.
Oh, when you calling people a pedophile, you calling people a rapist and shit like that. When people in the hood are pulling up on you, hey, my boy, what's up with this? Hey, what the hell's going on? How come your face is up? How come she's naming you all of a sudden out of nowhere? How come your pops is in trouble? Oh, what? Your dad's never had these type of issues. What's going on? This is the first time. This is crazy.
I want to address something about the video.
Yeah, please.
Okay. I gave you the timeline. Can you look at that, please? I gave it to you. I think it's at the bottom part.
That timeline? I don't think
Yes,
you gave me
this
that
one right here. I think
No.
it's,
You gave me that one? Okay.
yeah, it's at the bottom, I believe.
Okay, here we
There
go.
it is. I want you to look at December 20. That's when she releases her video. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, now, this is very important for people to listen to this who saw that video. This is, when I refer to the video, the 17-minute video where she's accusing me of this. Okay?
I saw that video.
When I posted that picture up, when I reposted it was January 2021, okay? A month later.
Okay.
So now here, my question is this. What does she have to go on that she was raped?
I don't think anything. I think it's almost, after seeing everything here and seeing that she put you as her beneficiary after all that, and this guy dating her sister, and this is my opinion, okay? I'm not passing judgment. The judgment has already been passed. I think that Sandy has certain issues she has to deal with, and I think that that in her mind, she does believe she got raped. I think she has convinced herself that she does. So when she hears certain stuff, hears you guys talking certain stuff, it feeds the fuel in her mind more and more. But seeing all this stuff, and especially if it happened in that room, because I've been in that room, it would be literally like somebody in here that was a female today saying later on, hey, Gil raped me. I'm like, all these people were here, man.
Yeah.
You left before. I've been to your place. It's this. This is what it is. There's nowhere for a rape to happen that not everybody saw. But that will lead me to this question. People are saying that John is the missing puzzle in this. People are saying that John, and what's his last name?
Elkins.
John Elkins is the guy that took off from your guys' team because that happened. That's what she's saying, and that's what other people will say. So if I were ever to get a hold of John Elkins, what do you think he's going to say?
Well, here's the funny part. You know who she accused of raping her that night?
Don't tell me it's John.
Me, my son, and John Elkins.
There you go.
So if John's listening, because most likely he is.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
Yeah. When the paperwork comes out, my attorney said, why didn't you go after John Elkins? Oh, he disappeared. And now, I will say this. In his defense, he didn't want nothing to do with her. Because he was the one who used to tell me, you need to cut her off. That's it. You need to cut her off. Okay, so the same way I told Night Owl, I know for a fact you didn't touch. I know you never even met her. So I don't know why Night Owl would have took it a different way and reached out to her or whatnot. You want to interview John? I don't know where in the hell he's at, but I will say this. She accused him in court.
Did they subpoena John?
No.
And why wouldn't they subpoena John?
That's a question that she has to answer.
Did they subpoena anybody else?
They didn't subpoena nobody else. They only subpoenaed one person who's popular at the moment, and that's it.
But you didn't call Bobby D to come to be a witness? You didn't call your son to be a witness? Or you didn't have to?
I don't even... when that video came out, Bobby D called me, and here's what he said. What's up with this weirdo? I said, I don't know. Like, I don't... And he just said, look, you need anything, give me a call, And that was it. I didn't want to bother him with this because I knew, and everybody knew this was bullshit. Look, I had homies...
Well, no, some people believe it's true. I mean, some people did believe it's true. Some people for the rest of their lives would believe, which kind of, it sucks.
Right.
But some people, because we'll be on her team. I mean, regardless, I think.
Okay. But I just want to touch on something with the video.
Sure.
And the video's still up. She's going to have to take that down because she lost her case, okay? And I'll tell you as far as See, my attorney's calling me right now.
You might want to answer that. He might want to tell you, shut up, Tony.
No, it's okay. He actually gave me the exhibits and told me.
No, answer the call to him.
No, it's
You
okay.
sure?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm sure.
Okay.
Everything that was said in court, I can say here. Okay. All the exhibits that we used in court, I could say here. Okay.
Okay.
Now, in that video, if you guys want to go back and look at it, this is what she says. Okay. And this is what she was asked. How did you find out almost a whole year later that you were raped? And we're talking about from January 8th to December 2020. January 8th, 2020, December.
So that's how far off
Yes.
the rape allegations were?
Yes.
Almost a year? Are
Almost a
you kidding
year.
me?
Yes.
Almost a year.
Oh, jeez.
And I was still going out with her sister after that.
Yeah, I missed that somewhere in the conversation. I thought it was like January of 2020 and the December of 2021. Like
It,
that.
it was almost a year later.
Oh,
Okay, so almost a year later, she says this in her video. I received a phone call from someone that there's a video going around
that's right.
of you being passed around. Okay? So my attorney asked her, who told you this? And she gave two names. Whether this is true or not, I don't know, but this is what she said. And I don't know these people's real names. She said Miss Lovely, who's a rapper, and Wicked Baby Doll. Both of them called me and told me that there's a rape video of you going around. So my attorney said this. So they seen this video? Yes. Did they send it to you? No. Did you see the video? No. Did you ask them for a copy? No. This is what she testified. Why wouldn't you ask them for a copy? I didn't want it.
Yeah, it once you start doing the math, it's not adding up.
That don't make no sense, right? Why would you not want a copy if you got raped by somebody?
That's the main thing you
that
want.
That don't sound right. That
No,
don't sound right at all.
that's the first thing I said. Like, yeah, I want that because I'm gonna go to the cops with this.
Right?
No video has ever came up.
So nothing.
Nothing. Again, by her own admission in that video, and I encourage people to go look at it. That's what she said. So he said, so Tony hadn't even posted up the picture in 2021, and you went ahead and made a video on a phone call. Did you try contacting Tony? I texted him. He didn't answer me. Did you try calling him? No. Did you try calling his son? No. Did you try calling his brother? No. Why didn't you go to his house? That's trespassing, and I don't want to get arrested.
Now you're telling me here, Tony, that you won the case.
I'll get to that, but yes, I did.
Okay, she's going around saying that wait for 3 weeks, wait till you get the paperwork.
I'm gonna explain that.
Yeah, please. I
Okay.
I need to find out. So you're saying, okay, Tony, did you win your case? Yes or no?
Yes, I did. Now, please allow me to explain that
Please.
and why she's claiming victory.
Okay.
This victory to me, it's almost bittersweet, and I'll tell you why. Because once again, I have to state this. This is not criminal. It's never been criminal. We've established that. This is civil, meaning she wanted money. When it came to us being acquitted of this rape, the jury sided with us.
Right.
In a civil case, you just have to get 9 people to agree out of 12, and you're acquitted.
Right.
It was unanimous. She couldn't even convince one juror.
It's not like a trial where you need everybody.
Well, that will be criminal. You have to
Right,
prove
right.
without a shadow of a doubt.
Right.
So keep in mind, in civil, is it most likely?
It's easier to convict than civil.
Yes. Is he most likely to have done it or most likely not to have done it? It was unanimous
No.
in our favor.
Right.
Okay.
You did not do it.
Right. So, and then my defamation part comes up, and I won. Okay. And you know what they awarded me? Not that I even care.
How much to give you, Tony?
$10,000.
Okay.
Okay. Now, here's where I was a little confused.
Here's the kicker.
The picture that I posted up with the penis in her mouth,
Yes.
right after that, I posted up the will. The will I showed you.
Yes.
Okay. So on the will, I tagged, if I did this to you, why would you make me the beneficiary the following month?
Okay.
Okay. You know what they awarded her? Not for something her attorney did or something she testified, but They penalized me for posting it.
Right.
They awarded her $40,000.
So that was the question that I was hearing. Ask him why he owes her 40 racks, and that's what it is.
Okay. So, and then, you know what's funny? When they acquitted us, I turned around because she was sitting like over here.
Right.
Nothing. When they said $40,000, she started crying.
That to her, she won right there.
She won.
But she won not a case because of the rape. She won because you were upset and you released a picture of her.
And I did that to myself.
Yeah, you did that. You.
Okay.
I hate to break it to you. You had that coming.
Right.
That was a bad move.
And my attorney, when I was in trial, asked me, did you post? And I said, yes, I did. I did take it down after 2 hours, but I take full responsibility that I did post that. So now, subtract the $10K that she owes me, I owe her $30,000. So that's what the court awarded her. After it was dismissed, she won absolutely nothing that she had her charges for me.
Right.
She was only awarded, once again, and I want to make that clear. And if people don't believe me, when that paperwork is released, have her send you what she won and have her send you what I won. Okay?
Yeah, it'll show you right there. It'll show
Right.
that as far as the rape allegations, all that, it was dismissed. The jury found no liability toward.
Right.
As hers with the picture, was that a defamation one or was that
No, it was just like posting illicit content.
like revenge porn type stuff?
Well, yes and no. Let me explain that, okay? First of all, to win a defamation, it's very, very hard to win a defamation. Everything that she posted about me, posting pictures, this guy raped me, this guy this guy that, it was a landslide. It was unanimous. And I'm going to say why it's unanimous, because after they say, you know what, it goes to the defendant, which is us, they go and ask every juror, is this your answer? Yes. Is this your answer? Yes. Is this your answer? And it was unanimous. Okay, so it's just they don't answer just in one like corporately, like in a group,
Right.
but they have to answer individually. Is this your answer? So we won that. I'm thinking I'm looking good. Won $10K. I didn't care about the money. She ain't got no money,
Yes.
so I just wanted to clear not only my name, my son's name, and to make an example of her for other men that she tried to do this to.
Right.
Okay, I want to be a voice for those people. Okay, so here's what happened. We're dismissed. The judge tells the jury, you can talk about it amongst yourselves. You can talk about it whatever you want. You can even post it if you want.
Yeah.
Okay? So my attorney says this. Can we speak to the jurors? When they step outside, you can go out there. Here's how we found out. What picture they penalized me for. He thought it was the one with the penis.
Right.
The one where she's supposedly unconscious.
Right.
No, do you know what the juror said? It was when he posted the birth certificate, it had her address and it had her son's name.
Oh. Yeah.
That's what that was. And to be honest, I thought it was for the other one.
Right.
They said we didn't even care about that one. She couldn't prove who was in the picture, when that picture was taken, if it was before the date, after the date. She couldn't have anything. She couldn't even say where the source of that picture was from. She just said it was me because she never seen that picture before. That's how she defended it.
That it was, yeah. I mean, well, same thing, Tony. You guys were reckless. You guys did put her address out there, and I think I did see some of her stuff, like being afraid for. And I'm sure because I'm sure on both sides, I'm sure you guys were getting some kind of death threats. I'm sure she was getting some kind of death threats. Wow. It was just muddy waters, buddy, muddy waters. So now that it's all said and done, Tony, now you gotta pay her $30,000. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. How do you move on from this?
Well, before I move on, there's two things that I have to cover first. Okay, I have to cover because I do believe that it's very, very important for us to cover this. Because I need people to see her intentions in this. If you were to ask me, Gil, because you haven't asked me yet, why do you think she did this to you? Why do you think she did this to you? And I have the answer.
Why, Tony?
I gave her an interview, episode 5, 2019. You guys can go look at it at the very end, okay? And I told people to sign up, subscribe to her page because nobody was watching her page, her YouTube.
Right.
Nobody was watching it. So I was helping her out like I've helped out other podcasters. Throughout those 7.5 months, I want you to interview me so that I can expose Kid Frost. That was her whole motive. My son testified to that. Alex Cervantes testified to that her whole motive was to expose Kid Frost. Okay. Now, I don't have no beef against Kid Frost. I said, I'm not going to do that. Well, I want to give you the interview before I go public and sell my story. So I just finally said, okay, what's your story then? Well, he's cheated on me and he likes young girls and he's, he beats me. And look, how many other stories you told me about how many other guys? I'm not going to give you an interview. So she stuck around hoping that I would give an interview to expose this man. Look, I've been knowing Kid Frost for a long time. I can't say we're the best of friends, but I respect the man.
Right.
And I don't believe anything that comes out of her mouth. I received a phone call before we started going to trial. And I'm going to say who it is because she allowed me to say who it is. The mother of Kid Frost's kids, a woman by the name of Mindy. She came to my studio with a certain guest. She met me. Before she left, she came up to me and she said this, Tony, I want to apologize to you. And the reason why I want to apologize to you is because Sandy painted a horrible picture of you. You were this ugly monster. So when she told me he's a homophobe, he's a pedophile, he's a rapist, he's all of these bad things, I asked her, how long have you known him? Oh, like 7 or 8 months. So you've known him all this time and you've known that he's all these things and you still went over there?
Right.
She didn't know how to answer that. But here's what got her blocked, this girl, Mindy. Sandy, if you want me to continue to support you, at least show me some type of proof. Show me something, and I'll back you. I'm going to hang up right now, and I'm going to send you 2 or 3 things. That's what she said. Okay. She said she hung up, Tony. It was 2 hours, 5 hours, 2 weeks. Never heard back from her again. She blocked me. Okay. So this girl, Mindy, said this, if you need my help, I will sign a declaration that she helped destroy my family. Other women are willing to come forward and expose this person.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it just seems like she's definitely got some issues, man. I mean,
now,
something's going on over there, brother.
To answer your question, where do we go from here? I just need you to
Yes.
read something, please.
Yeah.
And this will be the end because I think it's important that the public hears this. And if I got it on my phone as well, so if anybody wants to DM me, this is all public record. I can give it to them. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. And start from right here, Sandy. This is a detective writing to her. And please read it out loud.
This is titled The Rape Report Attempt. Sandy, beginning with the first time we met in December 2020 and during our many subsequent discussions, in-person interviews, I repeatedly asked you whether or not you had any memory, injury, articulable evidence regarding a sexual assault that may have occurred during the party you attended in Wilmington. Each time you had no information that would warrant a police report. I assured you that if any evidence ever surfaced, video, witness, medical evidence, I would ensure that report was completed and assigned appropriate investigative entity. As of this date, I have not heard from you that any evidence has ever surfaced.
Continue to go on to the next one, please.
Flip it over?
Yes, please.
Or just keep going with this one. Last year, that one?
It's the second page.
Yeah.
Hold on, just to make sure, please.
Yeah, sure.
Just to make sure, because I don't want to goof this up. So let me see. So this is, you read this one? Yeah, start right here, please. And then go to the following one.
Start at the top.
Yes.
Detective Neely advised this report is based on your allegations that a sexual assault was committed at the aforementioned party. Detective Neely asked about the background and disposition of the 2 misdemeanor crime reports I handled. I also advised him that I had not completed a crime report for a sexual assault committed in the harbor area of Los Angeles, since you were never able to provide any evidence or assertion that a crime occurred beyond second and third hand rumors and explicit video that you have not seen was being shown, or certain people known of whom have corroborate that such video exists. In other words, you're just talking about it. I'm asking for evidence, and there's nothing there.
Now go to the next page. If you want, you could just read the highlighted part.
Sure. We specifically discussed the rumored video, and I clarified that we can't generate report basically solely on gossip.
There it is, right there.
I don't know what else to say, Gil.
I mean, I don't think there is much else to say, Tony. I think people will believe what they want.
Yeah.
If there was a case against you, they would have arrested you.
Of course.
If there was even a slight bit of evidence, you would at least gotten handcuffed and you would at least gotten arrested. There would be a mugshot going around. Say Tony A got, arrested for sexual assault, sexual battery. I've been to your place. It'd be very difficult, if not impossible, to do anything like that, and especially with that many people. So my question is back to you, Tony. I personally think, my opinion again, I think you've proved what you've been saying, But now, where do we go with this? Because she may continue, and I'm sure she will. In her mind, I believe that Sandy believes in her mind that it happened.
Yeah.
But
it's funny you say that because she hashtagged one time, I believe me.
And I do believe that. But now that this is all said and done with, you're going to have to pay her money. She'll see it as a victory. Can you just kind of eventually move on from this and stop with the name calling, stop with the,
What name calling is that?
You know what I'm talking about, Tony.
Well, no, tell me.
No,
I think we're all curious.
I refuse to say it. It's a video game and it's some other turkey sounding stuff.
What video game?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm getting at. I think
it's before my time?
Yeah, it was before your time.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's time to be the adults about it, man.
I wish it was that easy, and I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm not trying to be a hard-headed Gil. I really
go
am
ahead,
not.
homie.
I come to realize with people like that, it's hard to be the bigger person.
Right.
Because people like that, look, one thing I've learned about narcissist women is this: every single one of them has a sad story that they reel you in with. Let me give you an example. Since I've known her, I've been lied to, I've been cheated on, I've been beaten up, I've been raped. And you know what happens? One thing that she has down to a science, she uses her puppy eyes, her soft voice, and cleavage. And most pendejos would say, I believe you. I believe you. Now, I do want to give a message to those guys that believed her with absolutely, and you heard this detective.
Yes.
Just gossip, no proof. Look, let me tell you something. I don't even care for an apology. Just don't come around me. I want nothing to do with you. Because you went ahead and believed this person and you never even met me. You never even talked to me. You know nothing about me, but you believe something on Instagram.
And I'm not in your shoes, Tony. I can only imagine how upset I would be if this happened to me. But I hope also, and I not even hope, I'm sure it's a lesson. Not to react in a certain way, not to bring certain people around your studio. And I mean, like I said, you dropped the bomb on it, dude. You put everything out there. It's out there for people to see it. And I think everything that needed to be said has been said, Tony.
Yeah. Just one last thing. And I'm going to say this because I think other men have been falsely accused, not necessarily from her, but from her as well. And I want to be a voice for those people that, you know what, don't back off of these people. Nobody has ever took it this far with her.
Right.
Nobody has. And I think it's important if any guy is out there and you're being harassed or bullied by this person, because one thing she does, she records phone calls. She'll screenshot text messages or DMs. If you comment on her picture, say she sends you a nude, okay, and you comment, oh, wow, you look beautiful. She'll delete her picture, save the screenshot, and at the moment things go sour between you and her, that picture goes to your wife. Or that compliment goes to your wife. That's how she works, okay? I've known that. That's why I was always very careful what I text her, okay? Now, when those allegations came out, a lot of Chicano rappers hit me up and told me, I'm not gonna lie, bro, I was with her. And I said, well, how come you don't speak up for me? I can't, bro.
Blackmailing.
Yeah, I can't. I said, why is that? Because I've sent her pictures before.
Right.
And I know she'll send them to my wife.
Yes.
So I didn't have that type of backup. But they all told me, I got pictures with her, but I can't.
Yeah, if there was any texts of you and her going back and forth, they would have been out there already. They all would have been out there.
Of course.
Would have been done.
Now,
pictures, text messages, anything. It should have been out there.
As far as the platform goes, you got a platform, Tony. You could have done this on your platform. Why did you choose to come over here?
That's a good question. I guess because you talk a lot about not only politics, but a lot of controversial subjects. And mine is mainly music.
Right.
And I actually felt more comfortable talking to you about it than anybody else.
Thank you.
I can't say that there's another podcaster out there that I respect that I would, would like to sit down and discuss what happened.
Right.
I respect you on so many levels, and I just felt comfortable opening up to you, man.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you. So I think with that being said, Tony, I mean, if you got any final words, my man, I mean, I'm kind of speechless here, and usually I'm not short for words. You can look at the camera, say whatever you got to say, my man.
I just want to thank people that stood by me. I know I can't remember all of them, but my family, my son, even though my son had nothing to do with this, I want to thank my team, Alex Cervantes. I want to thank Norbert. I want to thank the Hip Hop Jedi. And I want to thank Erica, especially Erica, Erica from B&B Entertainment, because she really stood by me. We talked about it before we decided to actually go after this person. And I told her this, and the same thing I told my attorney. I would not have you defend me if I was lying to you. I need you to believe me so that you can truly defend me. And my attorney said, I believe you. After he seen everything that they had and these reports, he believed me. Erica believed me. I also want to thank Salvi, Mommy Stephanie. I also want to thank Blanca from Bobby D Presents. I also want to thank Magic Girl. There's so many people that stood by me. I honestly, it's weird that more women stood behind me than men. All the women that I interviewed, after that video was posted, they all came by themselves to the studio. And I'm going to tell you why they came by themselves. And I asked them all, why did you come and you heard these allegations about me? One of them said this. I showed it to my boyfriend. He looked at it and said, go, you'll be safe. He didn't believe her. One last thing. It is people like her why real rape survivors are not being listened to. Because they muddy up the waters for other women. Okay? When that video was released, her video, I sent it to 3 women, 3 specific women that didn't even know each other. And all 3 of them called me back crying because they knew that she was lying. These 3 women were abused. Here's what one woman told me. I wanted to see it because I wanted to see that it. There is something that a woman, when she has been abused or she's been raped or molested, another woman that has been suffered of the same thing can identify, can pick up on it. And I never picked up on it. All 3 of them said the same thing. So I respect women. And I'm going to say it again. I believe that women should be loved and protected and educated and blessed, because I do believe that women are a blessing to us men. I have daughters.
Yes, sir.
And for someone to think that it's funny to put a jacket on me like that, rapists and child molesters get killed on the streets. Yeah. She didn't care if that happened. My house was shot up. She didn't care. One of my grandbabies could have been hit with one of those stray bullets. But she didn't care. She continued. So I had to get an attorney and make an example of her. Though it was bittersweet, but me and my son were acquitted. And now we're here to spread awareness that this person lied. This person is a fake rape victim. And you know what? I have no words for her. Other than that, Gil, thank you for giving me the opportunity. I want to thank your whole team, your family. I also want to thank my son for accompanying me, because I used to go by myself.
Right.
So.
And I think that's it, Chris. Fade to Black. Wow.